Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 14.5 of the Mount Moon Review Podcast, the only Pokemon podcast that still pays its champions, even if they support the Hong Kong protests. I am your host, the Raz Grease, with my co-host, the Blue Duck Gold Duck, and we are coming at you with a very odd, series of unfortunate events that have led to this episode being episode 14.5. But I'll get to all that in a minute. Duck, how the hell you been the last 2 weeks?
I've been pretty good. It's nice.
Yeah, well, I haven't.
Info. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, well, just, let me. This has nothing to do with Pokemon and everything to do with me. As everybody know, we were going to do episode 14 last week, as per usual on Tuesday nights. The problem that happened was we were on the road because we were relocating from Pennsylvania to Oklahoma. We tried to do the podcast from my laptop in a hotel. We thought we had it fine. We knew we weren't going to be able to stream, but we thought we did a good recording. But for some reason or another, my audio quality was crap. And I have no idea why it was, but it was. So we weren't able to, in good conscience, upload that episode. So we were going to have a live episode on Tuesday night of this week. Today is the 14th. Unfortunately, I had to move again. I had to move twice in 1 week. The house we had rented was sight unseen, and it was owned by a complete slumlord who had sent us pictures of a house from maybe 5 or 6 years ago that had been ridden hard and put away very, very, very wet, mostly in urine. So we weren't able to remain there. So we had to move again, and I had to move into a much smaller house where I have no office space. And as you can tell for those watching on the video version of the podcast, I'm actually in my bedroom. And it's very cluttered right now because we're still unpacking. I'll make sure to make the bed next week. So we are now starting to get settled in. Everything seems to be going okay. I got my computer set up, but I haven't got internet yet. Luckily, my wife was able to get her hands on it from a coworker, a 4G hotspot, so that Duck and I can record the podcast at least for your viewing and listening pleasure. So, again, we have apologized, but life gets in the way sometimes, and I had to do what I had to do. We should be on track now, though, to bring you a podcast just as we did for the first 13 episodes each and every week on Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central. So,
Mondays.
Mondays. Yeah, sorry. So, dude, you have no idea. I've lost 12 pounds this past week. I've lost 12 pounds.
Oh.
I'm severely dehydrated. I'm chugging water right now. And being in Oklahoma, everything down here is greasy as heck. So, but I have a kitchen now. I actually have a kitchen that has a stove that actually works. So, I could sit here and go through the whole list of crap, but if you go on my Facebook page, you're going to see a series of videos from me traveling across the country called the Journey Across America, Never-Ending Trip of Despair. It was meant as a joke, but when we arrived, it turns out it wasn't. It was true despair, and there was like the last part of that video says, "Okay, I want to give you an update from the house," and the next update is me very solemnly telling everybody what was happening, and just to divulge a little bit about Duck. He works in construction. We've mentioned that before, so I don't think it's a big secret. I was reaching out to Duck saying, dude, I think this house is hot wired. We were doing video chat with him and his boss, looking at electrical issues. I eventually did find the circuit breaker behind some wallpaper. Yeah, so thanks a lot for helping me out with that, Duck. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. I saw the pictures you sent me, and I'm like, wait, that's illegal.
It was very illegal. You should see the list of stuff that's illegal. I have a list. It's actually right here in my desk, but I'm not going to pull it out right now because it has names and addresses and stuff all over it.
The trip ended, but the despair didn't.
No, and I could have waited. We could have done the podcast on Thursday when I actually had real internet. I need some normalcy in my life. And for the past 13 weeks, this has been my normal on Monday nights. So I really wanted to do this. So I was really hoping to stream it, but it kind of makes sense that I have good download speed, so I can get Duck's video and audio. But I got no upload. We tried to turn it on, and our frame rates dropped like 50% real quick. So we're gonna do audio version. A lot of this is stuff we actually already recorded. We're just gonna rehashing it, but Duck's been updating the format, so we're actually have a brand new show. It's just with some old content. So bear with us, and hopefully by next week we should be back in the flow of things with episode 15.0, and we can go from there. So Duck, where do you want to start tonight?
Let's start with the new Pokemon that got revealed.
Oh yeah, the newest one
2 weeks ago.
If we could, we could have scooped them.
Yeah. So, not last Friday, but the Friday before that, the Pokemon's YouTube channel and Twitch channel.
Oh, I didn't realize it was on YouTube. I was watching it on Twitch.
I believe it was on YouTube as well.
Okay.
Maybe not. But they did a 24-hour live stream. And
Kinda.
what it was not Sonia, Mariah, some other character, the professor's assistant in the Sword and Shield games, went to one of the forests and she set up a trail cam. And then for 24 hours, we watched this, video play of Pokemon that lived in the forest running past the trail cam. So we saw a lot of Pikachu.
I saw exactly
Morlul.
one Pokemon. It was a Pikachu, and after 20 minutes, I said, "The heck with this," and I turned it off.
Yeah, I turned it on just to check it out, and it wasn't the actual stream. It was another,
like a reaction.
another streamer
Yeah.
reacting to it, and he's very entertaining. I'll shout him out since I watched him so long. It's A Drive. He, does daily Pokemon content, so I get some of the information that we put in this show from his stuff, and then so that's a shout out to A Drive. He's an awesome content creator, great at everything he does. So anyways, we got the new Pokemon. Impidimp was being a troll throughout the whole stream. He would run up to the screen. He would run up to the camera and move it around. He put his face right into it. One time he breathed on it, and then the screen was all blurry. And then we saw something big move across the screen. So he was making it harder for us to see the real reveal of the stream, which was Galarian Ponyta.
We did. We got My Little Pony.
It's literally My Little Pony.
It is My Little Pony with a freaking cotton candy tail. So yeah, we have a My Little Pony Pokemon crossover now. Whether it's official or not, I'm sorry, that's what this is. If you draw something on its butt, then we're gonna have My Little Pony.
Yep. So throughout the 24 hours, we'd see bits and pieces of it. At one point, we saw the tail. At one point, it ran by bushes, so we can only see part of it. And then it stuck its head out, and it was all building up until the end of the 24-hour stream, when two of them ran out front and center and kind of interacted with each other. They brushed against each other, and one of them lit up. So it was it looks like cotton candy.
It does. It's like pink and blue cotton candy.
Yeah, it's like the bin of cotton candy you can buy at the store. It looks exactly like that.
Well, I was gonna go with the ball game, the guy walking around, but yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, I mean that's that too. The bag,
the bag of sugar. Yeah, sure, child. Let me give you this sugar on a stick.
So these two run out. They play and rub against each other. The one on, if you're watching the video, the one that was on the left as it's shown to us has a tail, and the one on the right does not have a tail.
See, actually, have we actually seen the video of that? Is it just we don't see the tail, or do we?
No, it's clear.
It straight up does not have a tail.
Yeah,
that's goofy.
See, if the image you have right next to that, the tail goes up and over, and it's real poofy.
Yeah,
you can see it at the bottom of the other picture where it's there, and you'd be able to see it through the legs.
You're right.
Of the one on the right, if it was there. I didn't actually notice this at first. It was through other media sources that pointed this out.
I think it's kind of goofy looking. But that's me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't have a tail. Maybe it's a gender difference. This also supports the theory that we were going to get a Galarian Rapidash that people were expecting fairy fire type Rapidash with wings and a horn and an alicorn.
We,
I
we
learned about last week.
Yeah, we did speak about alicorns because
Yeah.
we had a lot of teaching ourselves about My Little Pony.
Yep.
So
So a lot of people were expecting fire fairy. When it evolves, it'll have wings and be a unicorn, which is an alicorn.
it's an alicorn,
Right.
and it's going to become a fairy princess.
That's what the theory was. Even before we knew there was a Galarian Ponyta, people were leaking rumors that there was going to be Galarian Rapidash. And then this whole thing happened, and everybody's like, "Oh, we were right. We were right. It's going to be a fairy type Ponyta." Well, Pokemon this week, since we recorded the last episode, revealed the type of the Ponyta, and it's Psychic, baby.
Booyah!
You guys were wrong.
And we did not predict that, so yeah.
No, I did not. I did not predict it either.
We
I
didn't-
predict that Rapidash will have wings. I totally get behind that. And at the end of the stream, you do hear Rapidash's cry, and both Ponyta look up. So that I think that's a pretty good sign that
No, I think
We'll
you're.
probably
I think
get
you're probably
a
right.
flying-
It kind of makes sense for an evolution type, so I get it and I like it. It's it's just a My Little Pony.
yeah, its ability is called Pastel Veil, which prevents it from being it and its allies from being poisoned. So
Yeah.
if it's in a double battle and the Pokemon on the same side as it gets poisoned, the ability would actually block that. And if you switch it in while one of the other Pokemon are poisoned, then it'll heal it.
Outstanding. It seems like it's definitely gonna be one you want to keep in your in your party if you're playing against somebody who's gonna be playing poison types.
Yeah, so I don't think this will have a huge effect on the meta because you don't really see a lot of poisoning in VGC. But maybe on the, outside tiers. In
Well-
single battling, Toxic is a very powerful move.
We also don't know yet if the meta is going to change with the advent of Sword and Shield because the battle format could change.
There might be a Pokemon that poisons other Pokemon when it comes out. If that's the case, then this would definitely be a good counter to that.
Yeah, we don't know yet, and that's something to always keep in mind. But we also don't know for sure if certain dynamics of the way you play the game are going to change.
Right.
We haven't heard anything coming out from the people that have got a chance to be hands-on with it yet, but we also know from experience that Pokemon, Nintendo, all these companies sometimes will put stuff on the game floor for people to play at events such as Worlds or Regionals or whatnot, or any place that really they have the game on display. And then the day of launch, it comes out, and this is not the same thing. So it's a possibility. It's very slight. I'm not going to put any money on it. It will probably have the exact same format we've always had when it comes to battling, but the meta could definitely change depending on what.
Oh, the
what they come
the
up with.
meta's shifting. Yeah, since they're taking Pokemon out and adding Pokemon, it's definitely gonna change.
Now, if I remember correctly, Mimikyu confirmed.
Yeah, Mimikyu confirmed.
Ha ha, baby.
Mimikyu is gonna be big, especially in single battles. Mimikyu is very, very powerful in single battles.
Absolutely, Mimikyu's most powerful Pokemon there is. What are you talking about?
We're actually getting a decent roster. Like the stuff they're revealing, it's competitive is not going to be boring at all.
No, I'm actually, but where we just relocated to, I actually I just checked it again today and depressed myself again. I checked everything within a 100-mile radius. The closest play Pokemon event to where I am is 97 miles away.
Oh my goodness.
So
That is insane.
that is bloody insane. And I've started leagues in the past. I could start a new league. There's no storefronts. So
I can't believe there's no storefronts.
not a one. It's not a one. I could go to Tulsa and do stuff there, but if I'm going to go to Tulsa, do I really want to invest in everything that goes along with TCG, or do I want to switch to VGC? I'm giving it serious consideration of switching to VGC.
This is as good a time as any for me to make my official announcement. I am selling out of my Pokemon cards on Wednesday.
Oh my lord! You still gonna run your league?
I'm still running the league. Yeah, I worked too hard to build it. I'm not gonna let it fall away. I'll just do something while the tournament. I'm not supposed to play during the tournaments anyway. Right. I mean, everybody's fine. I ask every single new player if they have a problem with that, and none of them do. So.
Let's just not talk about that too much.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll still run the league. Maybe if one day somebody I trust comes along and can do it, then.
Yep, I had to pass mine along, and it broke my heart. It still it pains me to think about it. Not because I think it's gonna be putting something bad's gonna happen. I didn't want to give it up. I worked very, very hard to establish that league the way I had it, and the fact that we got so quickly, we got League Challenge, League Cup, pre-release, everything. Really, if you look at other leagues, we did it exceptionally fast.
Yeah.
And we had a good community, and it still breaks my heart that I had to give it up. It really does. But it is what it is, and life goes on. But yeah, I'm actually thinking I might switch to VGC and give it a shot. I think it'll take a while for the hackers to catch up. So at least for a certain period of time, there's going to be some fairness. And my youngest son he's been playing Ultra Moon all day. So and if he gets really interested, Christmas comes around and get him a Switch, and we can travel on the weekends.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go hardcore into VGC. I'll definitely keep up with it and play a little bit. But the fun thing about the video game is that there are fan made rules where it's they take all the Pokemon that are used more often than others, and they are all in their own group. So if you play in a group, it's based on how much they're used. So the Pokemon that are used all the time, they're in a group, and then the Pokemon that are good but not used because they're not as good as those Pokemon, they're in their own group too.
Okay.
So then you can have a format where there's no Garchomp, no Charizard, none of these big hitters, and then it's a completely new, way to battle.
No, I've done some of the online competitive tournaments through the 2DS in my case.
Oh yeah, those are pretty cool. They just make their own rule set, and then
and there's you always have to establish your team based on the restrictions they set forth for that particular tournament.
It's similar to that. Yeah, I always liked playing in those as well.
So maybe we'll give it a shot, and maybe if we get good enough, we'll start traveling together again.
One last note about Galarian Ponyta. I just realized I forgot to say it. It is Shield exclusive.
Yes, I kept trying to fit that in, and I kept not finding an opening, and I almost forgot about it.
Which means it's I don't know if it's the direct counterpart, but it is a counterpart to Farfetch'd being a Shield or a Sword exclusive.
Surfetch'd.
Farfetch'd too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually I think I'm leaning towards Sword right now still. I want that Surfetch'd.
I'm so excited. I got them both pre-ordered.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, because I'm going to pre-release to the midnight release with a friend, so I just told him I'd order, I'd pre-order his copy too.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know which one I'm getting yet. I don't know what she's getting yet, but I mean, we might end up getting the same one. It's just there's already the money down on it.
Gotcha. I'm gonna get. I think I'm not 100% sure unless they come out with something different between now and then. But I want Sword. I think just because I want Surfetch'd. Now there might be other differences that come out, so it's kind of like you're just watching with bated breath, waiting for them to announce what the variations are going to be, and we're kind of hoping that we get some more variation than just one Pokemon. There's usually a handful, not many though.
Our community is big enough that it doesn't really matter which one we get. Like when Let's Go Pikachu came out, all of us had the version exclusives the same day.
We did, and it was pretty. It was we have a group chat, and I know we're like, okay, who's got this, and boom, 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 boom. It was trades were going back and forth, so it didn't take long. I completed my Pokedex rather quickly, so my intention since I have everything here to do it, and if everything's going well, I'm gonna do a live stream of my playthrough. And
Awesome!
It's not gonna be all at once. I'm not gonna do what you do and just give up on life for 2 days. But
4 days.
4 days.
I already got it. I already got Friday and Monday off.
But
I will review the game on Monday for the podcast.
But
I'm doing it for you guys.
I think you'll also see once Duck and I get to a point where we're both comfortable with the game and get everything we need, you'll start seeing dual streams of us playing, I believe. But that's gonna be down the road. So that's it for video games, I believe. What do you want to move to next?
Well, it's not it for video games.
Oh, you got something else?
Because Game Informer's November cover issue is going to be Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Da, 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 da.
So it's always great when a game you want to play is the cover issue, because the Game Informer guys go in, they play the game for like 2 or 3 hours. They get all this info, they do interviews, and then, you get all this inside information that you wouldn't have got otherwise. So there was an interview where they asked 101 rapid fire questions to Matsuda and it was 3 guys. I know Matsuda, the guy who is like the director of Game Freak, and then the art director of the game, and one other guy. His name escapes me. But I got the highlights of the interview. Basically, the most interesting things that I found that came out of it. First and foremost is that they have been wanting to add co-op battles to the games for quite a long time, even way before the raids were tested in Pokemon Go.
Really?
It's something they've always wanted to do, like online multiplayer battles, and they threw it in Go because that had such a huge player base, and people love it. Like, people go insane for these raids in Pokemon Go. So then they made the raid battles in Sword and Shield, where you battle against a Dynamax Pokemon, and they're telling us that there's going to be different difficulties, but the highest difficulty battles are going to be the hardest battles they've ever put in any Pokemon game ever.
Oh, fun.
So there'll be easy ones, which is like your entry level, like you probably don't even need to train Pokemon up. You just use whatever you have, and then the computer can beat this, or you and the other players can beat it with little to no strategy. But then the hard ones are going to be like, maybe you need 4 players actually coordinating to do that. I really hope that's what it is.
If I had to make a guess, because we're starting to see more and more integration between the different games, whether it's the mobile formats or console, if you want to call the Switch a console. I do. We're seeing a lot of integration too and copying of stuff from Pokemon Go. So if I had to make a guess, and I will make a prediction, those raids will be between 1 and 5 stars, just like we have with Pokemon Go. And the 5-star being the raids where you actually have to have coordination and have your team set and have a large number of people. So it makes a lot of sense. That's the way they're going with all the integration coming in with Pokemon Go, because we're already seeing that with Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go. And then with Pokemon Home coming out, a lot of the stuff's going to be, that's just transferring Pokemon. I mean, it's easy. But it seems like they want to have like a harmonious universe between all their games. So I would definitely see that's the route they would take.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the 5-star system. Or I think for some reason the number 10 stands out to me, so there might be 10 difficulties.
It's quite possible. We'll find out.
I might have read it, or maybe it was a theory. It could have been a rumor, so let's just forget about it. We'll let you know what it is when they reveal it to us.
Absolutely.
A couple weeks ago, we talked about during a gameplay session, we saw that an autosave popped up on the character's screen.
Right, we did see that, and everyone lost their ever-loving minds.
It could have been really good, or it could have been real bad. Well, they asked about it in the interview, and it's autosave is going to be toggleable. You can just turn it off if you don't want to use it. But it was actually implemented to help people that reset the game. So like if you're trying to get a shiny legendary and you're just, turning the game on off, it's not super convenient to turn the switch off.
Yeah, it's really
Actually,
not. It's a pain in the
not-
butt. Because you got to go to the dashboard. Yeah, you got to go
on
out
the DS.
You got to go out to the dashboard. You got to close the software. Then you got to reopen the software. It's a pain in the butt.
Somehow, however they integrated the autosave, it was supposed to make that easier. So I think it was cool that they actually came out and officially supported people that do that, because it seems like the kind of thing game developers wouldn't like.
If I had to make a guess, I imagine it would save before every encounter. That would be my guess.
Dang. That's nuts. Yeah, I do.
Because if they're specifically saying they're doing it to help people that do the resets for like shiny hunting and stuff like that, it would make sense that the autosave would kick in at the beginning of every encounter, so that way when you reset, you'd come right back in.
See, I was thinking it would reset when you like change screens. So like when you go into a building, when you maybe go into a cave or a new route.
Maybe that's possible too. Every time you change, every time you hit a load screen.
Pretty much.
That actually makes sense too. So that and it probably make more sense because that way they could do it in the background while other things were going on. So yeah, let's go with that.
Right, and then just put the legendaries in a cave where you take like 3 steps after you walk. Like you go walking, you're going through a cave. There's like one more cave within the cave, and then you're like 3 steps away from the Pokemon.
Yeah, that's quite possible. I mean, and
something like that.
The Switch, the saves are not going to the game card. They're actually going to the micro SD card. So the Switch can do those both at the same time, do a load screen and do a save, so you wouldn't have any issues. So that makes a lot more sense. Let's go with your theory.
Oh, okay. I guess that's what it's going to be then. Just kidding. No HMs in the game. I mean, this has been 2 games in a row.
Yeah,
we haven't had the HMs, so
I think they're done. I think they're gone. They're dead and gone.
We already saw the character riding a bike in the water, so I mean, that was to me that was enough reveal that we weren't going to have HMs.
Yeah, well, and
then plus you have the Corviknight taxi system. So there's Surf and Fly. What are the other HMs you got to worry about? Rock Smash and Strength. Oh well.
Cut.
Oh yeah, and Cut. Yeah, it's probably going to be Rotom and the scissors, and it cuts it. Or maybe you get a chainsaw with Rotom in it, and you just cut.
Nah, just be a pair of scissors with a ghost. Pair of scissors with a ghost in it.
Pretty much.
Oh, bloody heck. Everything's got a god dang ghost in it.
Yeah, we started that joke as a joke, and it's actually a thing.
It's a thing. It really is, and it's a sad thing.
They said they're going to add... Oh, sorry.
You having a stroke? Do you smell toast?
Yeah. They're going to... so I was caught off guard because... I forgot how excited I was about this when they revealed it. It's already passed. Like, you know what I mean? I've already come down and I just got excited again. They want us to take any Pokemon we catch and turn it into a competitive Pokemon. So breeding it's not going to be useless. They said it's not useless, but it is not as necessary as it was before because we're going to be able to affect IVs in games and natures.
Yeah.
This could be a translation error.
Could be.
But according to what they said, they hinted at changing a Pokemon's nature. And that is the last thing that was forcing us to breed. Because they've had bottle caps since Sun and Moon, which you can change Pokemon's IVs with. The only problem was that you couldn't pass the IVs change through bottle caps through breeding. So you couldn't just like bottle cap a Ditto and have a 6 IV Ditto. That didn't count. But... Now you can literally take your starter Pokemon, use in-game items to make them competitive.
So what you're saying
is...
I
said. That's what I said a long time ago.
Ditto is going to receive a couple less Father of the Year mugs than we've seen in the past.
Probably. But one of the best ways to get shinies, one of the best and easiest ways to get shinies is through breeding. The only problem is, what if you get... It's like a 20% chance to get a good Pokemon with breeding as is.
I've never done a shiny hunt ever. So
I love it.
So you're saying it's easier to get them through breeding than it is just from random encounters?
So It depends. If you breed if say your Ditto is from Japan or a different region, and you breed it with a Pokemon from America, like the American region, it'll have a double chance to be a shiny than it would if it was the same region.
I did not know that.
That's called the Masuda method. It was developed by Junichi Masuda. It was to try to promote players to trade with people from around the world.
It makes sense. It does. It's just the fact that you know this.
Oh, a lot of people know that.
I know.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Oh, jeez.
But the problem with that is, if you're breeding, like when I got my 6IV Ditto, it was actually from Japan. So I had the highest chance of getting a shiny, but only 3 times did the Pokemon, if it came out as a shiny, only 3 of those times was it the actual stats I needed for competitive play.
Ouch. So
Charmander, an Eevee, and a Froakie.
Ooh, an Eevee would be valuable as heck.
Yeah, it's an Espeon now.
Nice. So how did you obtain a 6IV across the board Ditto from Japan?
Reddit.
Sure.
I can't. Like, no, it really was from Reddit. I was heavy in forums.
I'm sure it came from Reddit. I'm wondering if it's a legitimate one.
That's why I'm not transferring any of its offspring into Sword and Shield. I'm going legit completely. I'm starting over. I'll get a 6IV Ditto and Let's Go. Transfer that when they allow us to transfer, and then that'll be a legit 6IV Ditto.
Awesome. I'm gonna start doing some Ditto hunts myself. So let me know if you get any.
We have a friend that got quite a few good ones.
Oh, did we? Awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll cough them up.
Or
he'll start a cat house for us. One of the two. So does that wrap up our video game portion?
Nope.
No. What more you got, Duck?
Next is... Sorry, I clicked off of the outline.
I'm looking at XP share baked into the game and not an item.
Yep. So in Let's Go, this is the case in Let's Go. You have the XP share on when you do a battle or catch a Pokemon. All the Pokemon in your party get XP. You can't turn that off. You can't stop the Pokemon in your party slots from getting the XP. It looks like that's going to be the case in Sword and Shield.
My youngest son, he came in. He's just I'd gotten him Ultra Moon sometime early in the summer, I think, and he's just now really starting to fuss with it. And he just got the XP share today, and he came in like, "What is this?" And I had to explain to him. It's like, "Don't you dare turn that off."
Yeah, no, it definitely helps with going through the game. You keep all your Pokemon the same level basically throughout. But it does take away a little bit of the challenge of the game, and I can see why players are upset that they can't turn it off. Like I don't see why there's a problem to have an option.
Yeah,
it might have an option. It might. They might just be saying it's not an item.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about someone giving it to you or something.
Like maybe you can go in the settings and be like, turn off EXP share. That could be the case. We don't know yet. But it doesn't sound like that based on what they said in the interview.
It doesn't. From what we were talking about last week, it doesn't sound like it is. It sounds like it's there, it's a thing, suck it up, deal with it.
Right. It's not terrible. I mean, I don't care, but some people do.
All right, next on the outline.
Next on the outline is the translation error that Game Freak actually had to be like, "Hey, whoa, hold on, guys. You guys, you're wrong." Game Informer released an article saying that there were going to be 18 gyms in Sword and Shield.
And we all went, "Oh my god, biggest game ever!"
Well, we'll get to that later. But yeah, I was flipping out like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be great." And they said the gyms were going to be major leagues and minor leagues. So I'm like, 5 gyms in each, 2 minor leagues, 5 gyms each, plus your traditional 8 gyms in the major league. That makes perfect sense. Let's go. And then Game Freak was like, "Hey, we got to explain this a little better. There are 18 gym leaders in the Galar region. There's one for each type, but only 8 of them. There's a tournament or whatever. There's a championship they do where only the top 8 get to be the gym leaders that the player has to face in their gym challenge.
And the thing, I know we talked about this last week, I really, really, really hope, and since everything now is based on online gaming, I can't help but really hope that every year there is an update that changes the gym leaders.
That would be awesome.
Tell me how amazing. Tell me that would not be amazing.
Oh yeah, I would love it. And it's just a patch. You could just patch it.
Yeah,
they can do that on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, it might affect some storylines, but if you creatively do the writing well enough ahead of time, you can still do it.
It would be awesome if there was an in-game event where the tournament actually went on. And they said, I believe in some way, they said we will interact with all the gym leaders. We just might not battle them. We might walk into a town and go in a house, and then the gym leader, like, there's a fire-type gym leader just sitting there chilling.
What's up?
Yeah.
You want to pet my Charmander?
And that explains why. That explains why the gym leaders in Sword and Shield are different, because we know in Shield that you get the Ghost type gym leader, whereas in Sword you get the Fighting type gym leader.
Again, more reason for me to go Sword.
You like Fighting over Ghost?
I thought you said Ghost was in Sword.
No, Ghost is in Shield.
Oh, now I'm torn. Dang it.
I mean, I'll trade you a Farfetch'd.
I want the Farfetch'd, but I need to make sure I have my Mimikyu.
I'm pretty sure Mimikyu is going to be in both.
You better hope.
Map of the wild area has been revealed.
Kinda.
Right, it's not. I mean, there are some high-res images. It was just hard to get one for the podcast. So it's bigger than some people were thinking. I mean, I'm not surprised. Oh wow, is that all the big?
Yeah, I didn't even bother making a slide for it for those watching on YouTube. But so yeah, it's tiny. Let me there we go. Yeah, it's an image of an image. But yeah, it looks like the map's gonna be fairly large. But again, it's a pretty low resolution image.
Yeah, they said that you were gonna have to go through the wild area to get from town to town at some points.
More like traditional RPGs.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then if you want to, you can run ahead and try to catch some of the higher level Pokemon and just play through the game with really strong Pokemon. We saw the Machamp rush the player down at the E3 demo.
Yeah, smack.
It was pretty funny. And it ended up being like a level 26 Machamp, and they had like level 7s.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Smack, smack, smack. Done.
And this is the final thing for video game.
Are you sure?
Yes. The file size of the game has been revealed.
It has, and I'm really kind of shocked.
10.3 gigabytes.
I don't know how they're fit. I mean, I know how they're doing it. I'm just shocked. I don't know of any other Nintendo cart right now that is that large.
There is one. I'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, look at you digging for information. Look at you, you little news hound.
But first, I want to talk about the previous Pokemon games. Then the DS cartridge for X and Y was 1.7 gigabytes, and that's a pretty big game.
It's for a Nintendo game. That's huge.
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, 1.8 gigs.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that
it's
one.
It's a much bigger map because of all the water and everything so spread out.
Yeah, but a lot of that can be copy paste stuff, so I'm still kind of surprised.
Sun and Moon was 3.2 gigabytes, which accounts for the graphical.
Yeah, graphical upgrades, and you have to take into account too. It was made for the 3DS, so that takes a lot of rendering.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon 3.6. I don't actually know how you got, so much new stuff from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Because it was basically the same game.
Was there a graphical difference between the two?
I don't think so. Maybe that's literally how much it.
Oh, Duck's dying.
Jeez.
Duck's dying.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, he's doing the dew, folks. He's drinking the dew. And do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Pick that can back up. Look at the first ingredient on there. What's it say?
Carbonated water.
What's next?
High fructose corn syrup.
Keep going.
Oh my gosh. This isn't a Mountain Dew podcast.
No, keep going.
Citric acid, orange juice.
There you go. Orange juice.
It's juice. It's healthy.
It's healthy, yeah. Now do yourself a now take another drink. You can taste the orange juice, can't you?
Yeah.
Now, from now on, every time you drink Mountain Dew, you're just going to taste orange juice.
Stop it. Pokemon Let's Go had 4 point.
Pokemon Let's Go.
Pokemon Let's Go had 4.1 gigabytes. Now that should put it into perspective for you.
Yes, it really should.
Sword and
Because
Shield's
that's a full game.
It's a full game, but there are only 150 Pokemon. 151, 153 Pokemon.
And the size of the game is directly proportionate to the size of the game that was on the original Game Boy. So, but the graphics are, we're getting Sword and Shield's getting it's getting close to what Sword and Shield's going to be. So we are just by the fact that now we know, is this, even if we use the same engine with the same graphics, we're more than doubling. We're quadrupling almost the size of the game from Let's Go.
Yeah. So that's I just want to put it into perspective for you. Now, the biggest Nintendo game cartridge, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, is 13 gigabytes.
Wow. Okay.
So,
I've never played it.
It's not Breath of the Wild. It's a big game.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild is huge. It's not Breath of the Wild.
But it's close.
It's close. I believe Skyrim was like, for some reason I wanted to say 11 gigabytes.
And here's the
Skyrim's
thing.
big.
And here's the thing. If you think about that, I've never played Breath of the Wild, but I have seen plenty of footage of it. There's a lot going on there. I mean, there's 100%. A lot. It's a lot more graphically. This is probably not even right. These probably aren't even words. It's a lot more graphically complicated than Pokemon. So, if Pokemon is less intensive on the processor, that means there's even more content there than there is with Breath of the Wild.
Well, I guarantee it is less intensive, but you also have to think of all the files for all the different creatures.
Because you got all the sprites and all the variations and the shiny variants and blah, 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 blah.
Right. So it's probably not going to be as massive as Breath of the Wild, but
this is why we do not have a national Pokedex, people.
It could be a little part of it. I mean, they obviously could have fit 13 gigs onto the cartridge, and I don't think the remaining Pokemon would be 3 gigs worth of data. But I do think it's more of more of how long it took, like the quality of animation they wanted to do.
Yeah, and they've had time. They've taken their time, and they're releasing a product they're happy with. So I'm happy to see it. Happy to play it.
I don't think I talked about it here, but in one of the trailers, I think I only talked about it in the group chat. You see a Vileplume. The player is in the camp area, and they throw a ball out, like a bouncy ball, and the Vileplume runs up, picks it up, puts it in top of the flower on its head, and then runs over to the trainer.
Really?
That's not a generic animation. Not every Pokemon is going to be able to do something like that. That meant they programmed Vileplume to do that. Maybe there's some other Pokemon that they can use that kind of motion to do, but Charizard can't do that. No. How's Charizard going to do that? Charizard's going to do something completely different with the ball. So, I mean, like, it sounds kind of nuts to describe it like that, but that is, I think, the animation quality they were talking about, not just the battle animations. But
yeah, I mean, typically we're used to seeing like the 2 or 3 different animations for every Pokemon. That's it, and they're all pretty much the same thing. But yeah, it sounds like that we are going to get different variations based on the different sprites.
Right, in Pokemon Ami, where you could interact with the Pokemon, you could kind of see how the Pokemon would smile and like, you know, be happy and stuff, but you could see that the mouth wasn't actually a mouth. It was like a picture of a mouth textured on top of the
Superimposed,
Pokemon.
yeah, superimposed on top.
Right. So that's the next, you know, step we're getting. The Pokemon didn't walk around in Pokemon to me. They're going to walk around in this Pokemon camp.
Right on.
And that's it. That's the completion of the video game. It was actually a really long video game
It
section.
really actually kind of was. I didn't realize it was broken on 2 pages, and that's why I was like, wait a minute, we're not done?
Yeah, 2 weeks worth of game information.
Okay, so we do have a little bit of TCG stuff. Not a whole lot.
A little bit.
Not a whole lot.
So, as we know, October... Was it October? It wasn't October 4th, was it?
No. Yes? No? I don't remember. Moving on.
It might have been. So on October 4th, people got, I believe that was when it started, people got their Tag All-Stars set in Japan released, which was basically a lot of GXs and stuff that were prominent players in the TCG series from Sun and Moon.
Yeah, they looked for a way to quickly tank the market on cards in Japan.
Basically. And they do that a lot. They always have sets like that. Sometimes they do sets where you get all GXs in the pack.
Yeah, and just
But
a
this
word of
time-
caution, and word of caution to anybody that is like, my kid really likes Pokemon, or my grandchild, he's into the Pokemans. I'm going to get him Pokemon cards. Be careful. There's almost every time that you have a new person come in the league, and the parents are like, oh, they've been into Pokemon cards for years, but now they're going to learn how to play. They'll have this stack of GX cards as long as your forearm, and every dang one of them is a fake card because they bought them on Amazon.
Yep.
Be careful,
I've seen
folks.
it. There was even somebody locally at a gas station selling people fake Pokemon cards.
You know, when I left my league, one of the young girls that came in, it was just like that. She wanted to learn how to play. And she was one of the first people that came in when we started the league. And she, I had to, like, these are all fake, darling. I'm sorry. And we cobbled together a deck for her. And then she got really good. She started traveling. She actually went down into Maryland a couple times, did some league challenges. She did okay. And I think if she keeps it up, she's actually going to do very well. One of the things that she did on the last night that I was there, because they actually had a going away party for me. You were there. You brought the chips and soda, I believe.
I brought the soda.
You brought the soda.
Yeah.
Somebody brought muffins. But she actually took one of those fake cards and signed it and like wrote like a goodbye on it. I thought that was awesome. It's still in my bag. I thought it was awesome.
Is that the girl with the bald dad?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's really quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really neat. Anyway, so yeah, they got those sets out in Japan. Everyone kind of went crazy. I think it's died out. I mean, you're not really hearing much about it anymore.
Well, here's the crazy thing about that is they got God packs.
They did.
Which was I think it was like 1 in 250 packs is the data they compiled, was a pack that was all full of like full arts and GX Pokemon.
It's the one where you see them open it up on a live stream and they just run around the room going, oh my god! Yeah. And you're thinking, this is fake. I don't believe it.
No, we are not getting this Tag All-Star set. So I'm curious if we're going to see God packs in the future.
I think Pokemon every once in a while likes to throw Japan an exclusive bone. Maybe. Probably.
We have seen some other sets or other card series that have something similar to the God packs. Like Magic the Gathering has them, and so does the Dragon Ball Z game. Dragon Ball Z is also made in Japan. I think that's where Bandai is. And Wizards of the Coast makes Magic, which is in America. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to be more like us.
Maybe. Not sure. I hope I get one. But then again, I'm not really buying packs right now, so.
Yeah. I'll probably never get one.
Well, you gotta. Maybe when people start donating to a GoFundMe, maybe I need someone to set up a GoFundMe first. But yeah.
And another thing I noted about this Tag All-Star set when it released was 30 out of the 42 secret rares in the set, which is another crazy thing about All Stars, is that it has 42 secret rares,
Yeah, I mean,
not including the holographic energies.
no, which I are awesome.
There 30 of those are cards like like Weavile GX, which we only got the one artwork of here. They have a full art and a hyper rare in their Tag All Star set.
Awesome.
We never got the full art. So for cards like that, how are we going to get those in America? Are they going to release another premium box like they did for the Best of X and Y set, where it was $100 and it came with like 14 promos, but like 2 packs? Like it was honestly like
Overpriced.
I don't think it was worth it to buy it. Like they had a full art N in there, and a lot of people spent the $100 on the box thinking the N was going to be $100 card.
Except everybody bought the damn box.
I tried to tell them. I tried. I'm like, guys, promos don't get that price. It's just going to drop. The regular N from the set Noble Victories was $120 at the time. The full art N from that set.
Yeah. If put it to you this way,
but all I did was cut that price in half.
If I can see the card in the box,
it's not going to be expensive.
It's not going to be expensive. It's not. It will be,
unless that's the only printing of it.
Still,
that is something to keep in mind.
It's going to drop like a rock. If someone buys you one as a gift, open that box up, put that sucker online, and sell it immediately. Let some other sucker have it.
Examples of promos that have gotten expensive were like the Evolution GXs. Those were $30 and they came out of a $20 box. And the Solgaleo with the Turbo Strike is currently up there in price right now. I think right now it's the price of the box.
I don't think it was originally, though. It came up later because of its actually being useful.
Well, right. Once it started being used originally it wasn't an expensive. It was probably like $8. And then once Jimmy Pendarvis won a regionals because of it, then
I kind of wish somebody would keep a statistic, and they probably do, and I just haven't seen it. I would love to see the price of like the top, I don't know. Well, actually, I'd like to see the price of every card a week before a tournament and a week after.
Oh, I'm sure somebody does that.
If anybody ever has like access to that database or they know where it's at online, send it to me on Facebook. I'd really like to see it, or send it to me on Twitter. Like I said, I would like to see that.
And that's about it for TCG.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty light. We said that going in. Pokemon Go.
So
I'm a little disappointed with Pokemon Go. For multiple reasons, really, but not the least of which is where I'm at right now. As I scroll around my region, I see precisely one Pokestop, and it's nowhere near my house. And there's no Pokemon at all. So, wait a minute, what's that? It's a Rhyhorn. Big deal.
Or is it a Ditto?
Oh, can it be a Ditto?
I don't know.
I'm gonna throw an Ultra Ball at it and see what happens.
Is it shiny?
It's not shiny, I can tell you that much.
Oh.
But we also have the fact that Pokemon is going pay to play in a certain way here. And I'm not too happy about it.
Yeah, so I got some details since last week about it.
Well, throw them on us, Ducky.
So it's a special research featuring it. Well, first of all, let's talk about the paywall.
Yeah, the high paywall.
$7.99 to get the pass to participate in the event. And according to Cerebi.net, it'll include early access to Regigigas, which we called by being called the Colossal event.
Yeah, we called that weeks ago.
Use of 10 raid passes for free during the event, a medal, a Sinnoh Stone, and an Unova Stone.
Did you just... Wait, you said a medal?
A medal?
So you're buying an achievement.
Oh
my god!
I didn't see the medal part when I was originally making the list. I just saw it now.
If you pay us money, you get an achievement. Achievement unlocked. You're broke.
Credit card warrior.
Yeah, there you go. Douche canoes. Anyway,
I am one with the plastic. Did I say a
MasterCard,
Stone?
go!
You can catch any Pokemon you want with a MasterCard. Wow.
Yeah, next thing you know, it's going to be Insta-Catch, only 99 cents.
You want to make it a shiny? That's $3.
$2.99. Guaranteed shiny.
So
So was
does that
Niantic...
seem worth it to you?
No, not at all.
Not for 10 raid passes,
No.
Sinnoh Unova Stone.
No.
Okay, I don't know how hard this stuff is actually to get.
So
Like if they put a little package and said you get all this in the package, that's not worth it.
So I can go in and get the stones from battling the professors, which I can do that. I can actually do that still because I don't have to go anywhere. I can do that from my bed. But so and then maybe 20 minutes I'll have a Sinnoh stone if I need it. It's not that difficult. Typically you can only get one a day. Okay, whatever. Raid passes are typically 99 cents. But if you say you only raid, like say I raid today, I spin a stop, I get a raid pass. I get a free one, so I get it back. I don't raid tomorrow, but then I raid on Wednesday. Okay, I do my free raid, spin it, get a free one. Well, I'm going to do another raid, so I can do two. Basically, you can do one a day, but you can carry one. So in theory, if you skip a day, you can do two the next day. Now, I've had days where my sons and I and my wife, we would go out and, where we used to live, we could do this quite easily. We would just go around and hit stops and go stop, especially on community days. And, if we had raid passes, great. And, say I had 3 and my wife had like 8 because she has a lot of them. And the boys didn't have any. Well, give me your phones real quick. Boop, 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 throw $5 worth of coins on there, and we can get raid passes. For a game that is absolutely free, and you have been able to progress without putting money into it, I don't have a problem with that. The reason being is I've got hours and hours and hours of enjoyment out of that game, and we get to do it together as a family. As odd as that sounds, it was very fun, and we had interactions with other people because we had a Discord group in our area, and we really enjoyed doing that. But now you're taking this, like for example, my boys, they do not have service on their phones. I bought just iPhone SEs from Walmart. Activate them with this Walmart contract. Screw you. I'm throwing this chip away, and I'm just going to leave the phone as is. So there's completely unlocked. Fun fact, folks, the first SIM card you put into an iPhone locks it to that service. So if you buy a iPhone that does not have a SIM card in it, it is completely unlocked, and you can put anything you want in it, regardless if it has the little Walmart logo on it. But the boys, they can play the game anytime they want. At home on Wi-Fi, or if we're out and about, their phones instantly link to my hotspot and they're good to go. But they can play it for free unless I decide to give them money, which I do very, very, very infrequently. But now you're gonna force people that maybe don't have a credit card. Oh, you want to play in this thing? Well, it's going to cost you $8, and I just think that's kind of it's shady.
Well, this seemed a lot worse before they revealed everything you're getting. Like, I thought it seemed like that was going to be the only way to get Regigigas is to pay to be in the event.
Well, there's some interesting wording in what you said back there. They
early
said
access.
Early access to Regigigas.
Which means you'll get Regigigas
eventually.
Right, like for free eventually. But I think it's weird to make a Pokemon that you're going to have to get through. Is it raids? Or what's special research? Is that
special research?
Just give you the Pokemon when you do it?
Typically, your reward is an encounter against it.
Okay, so it's not even going to be raids of Regigigas during the event. It's just going to be some event.
It's going to be an event where you have to, fulfill a checklist, and once you get that checklist, you'll get a opportunity to capture it. Interesting thing, in the game is you have to get all 3 of the Regi Pokemon to get to Regigigas, and November 1st through the 4th, I believe. The 3 variations are going to be available in 5-star raids, leading up to the Colossal event.
And they can be shiny.
They can be. So, is this going to be a thing where people are going to buy that raid pass? They're going to go out there. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't catch it because you don't have these other three.
Oh, maybe that's part of the research.
It might be. They might be because typically you don't have it like 4 to 6 lists you got to complete, and once you complete each list, you get an encounter of some kind. So that might be what it is.
Huh. Yeah, I would not be surprised. And then part of that is you have to have caught Reggie Ice, Reggie Steel, and Reggie Rock to purchase or to get the research to do Regigigas, which makes sense about the 10 raid passes as well.
Oh yeah, it kind of does. Ugh, God.
But what I was saying about the value of this is if you just take it and take Regigigas out of this, 10 raid passes, which would normally be $10, you're saving $2.
You're saving $2. But they also have boxes available all the time for $2 and $3 that have passes in there like that.
Oh, how many?
It depends. It depends. It changes a lot.
Okay.
But
sometimes it's a better deal.
Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10. I mean, and they'll have incubators in there, which Lord knows you need incubators a lot. But you can also purchase those with coins that you gain from having your Pokemon in gyms. So again, you don't have to put money into it.
You don't have to, and you don't have to do this event.
You don't have to, but
you don't actually lose out on anything.
You don't lose out, but at the same time, I just don't like it. I think it's slimy.
Yeah, it seemed that way if Regigigas was going to be in raids, but I think now that I'm looking at this, like hearing what you said about how Pokemon Go works, I don't think it's as bad as we thought it was last week.
Yeah, I'm still not happy about it, but I'm not actually screaming like I was before. So.
Right. Yeah, he got triggered last week, guys.
I got triggered. So we also have a new event coming up. Is it every event?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Well, no, every October we have an event that comes up that they'll have like a ghost Pokemon will be like all over the place, and Pikachu usually has a witch hat on or something. It looks like this year we're getting more than just a Pikachu variant. We're getting a lot of variants, mostly the Kanto starters, to be honest. But yeah, we get Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander in costume. They're going to be just random encounters. And we got Pikachu dressed up as Mimikyu. Charmander dressed up as... Is it Marowak or is it...
Cubone.
Yeah, it's Cubone.
Now I want to hear you try to say who the other two are.
Oh, I'm not even going to try. I was going to leave those two to you.
Bulbasaur is wearing a Shedinja hat. And Squirtle is wearing a top hat that looks like Yamask.
Yeah. He's just got a little bow tie on.
I actually only knew what they were dressed up as because a player at my league brought in a playmat that has the Pokemon, that features all the Pokemon in their costumes, and we were like trying to figure out, like we were deciphering it.
Gotcha.
Based on the picture they gave us for Pokemon Go, it'd be really hard to tell what Bulbasaur was wearing.
Now, I've made it a point to have every Pikachu variant, male and female, and Raichu's male and female. I've done everything I can to make sure I have all the Pikachu variants. And now we have one wearing a bloody Mimikyu costume. I must have this Pokemon.
I think you should release all those Pikachus.
I think you ought to shut up. So we also made a prediction about the Team Go Rocket members when the cursed Rotom, not Rotom. Who was the ghost that was in the system? They said it was Rotom. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. They released some sketchy images on Twitter and they said, "Oh, we don't know what this is." Well, there's a big bloody red R on it. What do you think it is? And
oh yeah.
We made the prediction that these were going to be dark forms of our current professors for Instinct, Valor, and Mystic. And the reveal came out, and we have a new load screen that has Giovanni in front of his gym in the Kanto region. We have the other professor... Viridian City. We also have these 3 Team Go Rocket members standing up front now. You can actually see them. And they look like variations of the types of professors that we have currently for our our 3 teams.
Another thing to note, I did it in a lot of detail, but I think we're gonna try to save a little bit of time probably. So I like talking about their outfits. Each one is wearing a different color. One has red on, one has blue on, and one has yellow on.
It's trim. It's not like it's a completely different outfit.
Oh, right. It's mostly black Team Rocket attire,
yeah.
but like the one guy has like red hair and like red gloves, and then the girl has like, oh well, she actually has a white suit on, but she has yellow going down the side of her clothes.
Yep.
The other guy has like a blue undershirt.
I think blue shoes or something too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I called it, and if they still haven't come out and said I'm 100% right yet, but they haven't confirmed it. But yeah, you know I'm right.
I'm pretty sure you are.
So next, we've got news about the anime.
Yeah. So they revealed a little bit of info about some more characters in the anime. We already know about Ash and Go, but they revealed Sakuragi and Koharu.
Yep, you got them. Sakuragi and Koharu.
So Sakuragi is actually a professor that lives in the Kanto region, which makes me think that we might be going to the Kanto region in the anime. They might go to the Kanto region quite early on.
I'm kind of hoping, to be honest with you. I want to revisit this Pokemon world.
Right? And his daughter is named Koharu, and she has a Yamper. I think she's the 3rd travel companion. Normally there's 3, at least 3. Sometimes there's like 4, in the
some that come and go.
Region.
Yeah.
Right. I believe I would imagine it's Ash, Go, and Koharu.
Because
maybe they're going to have a way
to
travel between regions quickly. Maybe
that'd be nice.
There was some theory on the internet, like based on the images they showed of the anime, that they might be traveling on a Lugia, which would be freaking sick.
Amazing.
That would be awesome. But I thought it was very interesting that the professor's lab is in Kanto, but it's not in Pallet Town.
Oh.
It's in Vermilion City.
Okay, it makes sense. I mean, there's already a professor in Pallet Town.
Well, right. No, yeah, it makes total sense. But what's interesting is in every single game that takes place in Kanto, there's this plot of land where like Machops are walking around, and you talk to the guy standing in the plot of land, and he says, "Oh, this building is under construction." So when Fire Red and Leaf Green came out, people went to there and they're like, "Oh, well, that's weird. I thought this was actually going to be built up into something now. What are they planning to do with this building?" And then it, and they were trying to keep it true to Red and Blue when they made Let's Go, so that's still there. Wow. I bet it's the lab.
Boom. Mind blown.
I don't think that they planned it to be that, like, in 20 years we'll make it something. But they just never used it, and now they're utilizing that space. I believe. I think. I don't know.
I think originally they were showing the Machamps as simply, this is Pokemon working alongside humans, being our friends.
Yeah, basically.
And it probably was never meant to be anything, but heck, if it's there, you got to use it.
if they use that, that's a genius. Like, it's so cool.
I like it. I hope they do.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It might be part of the 1 hour special on November 16th, 17th.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is all we have for this week.
That is it.
And that wraps up episode 14.5. The reason, like I said, it's a combination of missing last week's and then this week as well. So I'd like to thank everybody for sticking with us. We are going to be back on schedule as of next week. Hoping. I mean, the modem's here. I already have it. All they got to do is go climb a pole and hook it up for me on Wednesday. So everything should be good. We'll be back to streaming. And I can actually get back on my channel and do stuff. And I'll be very happy to do that. I need this in my life. If you are feeling so inclined to go on Twitch, you look me up, _Razgrees01. Click that little heart and give me a follow. I'd greatly appreciate it. The podcast is always available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You want to reach out and talk to Duck and I, you can do so on Facebook with just look up the Mount Moon Review podcast, and you'll find that. Duck and I both post on there. Me more so. Duck needs to get on the stick. You can also find my personal Facebook page, _Raspberry01, and the same on Twitter. Duck, you're available on Twitter as well at Blue Duck Gold Duck. That is Blue Duck Gold Duck without the E. And
never an E.
And if you set up anything else
Discord.
yet? Except on Discord. Have you set up anything else on social media yet, or are we still just sticking with the Twitter?
Just sticking with Twitter.
Outstanding. Well, until next week, folks, when we are live back on my Twitch stream, I thank you all once again for coming out and, well, listening to this podcast, wherever you consume your podcast, because you're not actually here right now, unfortunately. But next week you can be. Duck, get us out of here.
All right. Until next time, guys, remember, if it's too good to be blue, it's probably gold.
Have a good
Thanks
night.
for listening.
Just because your guard is magic, you think you're safe because you killed my life orb. Baby, do you dare to not flinch? Cause I'm coming at you like a dark pulse. I know you're gonna throw. You're gonna throw a storm. But I got that lucky chance. There's no critical hits.